Let me go to Abuja because I understand we are being joined by Olumewa Adejobi, the Force Public Relations Officer, the National Force Public Relations Officer. Good morning to you. Thank you for coming out to join us this Sunday. Although I know the police works every day, there's no Sunday for the police.
Good morning to you. Good morning to you, Nigerians. Good morning to Africa. Good morning to everybody. Yeah.
Let me, of course, begin with you on the issue that Mr. Kayode just ended with, and that is the role that the police, being the first responders in this election, the lead agency, as they're called, for security in this election. All the reports that we have received indicate that, it's becoming a cliche now. People use the word pockets, but that, there wasn't a broad swathe of violence in these elections like we witnessed in some of our previous elections. Is it the police that deserves congratulations, or is it the people who used to engage in those who are not present this time?
Well, the kudos should go to all the stakeholders, not only the police or any security agency deserves such accolades, but just all of us who are active players in this electoral process. But generally, the INEC has improved on so many things. Certain innovations have come up to make electoral process easier and more secured. And this has given us the leverage to work on as security agencies, particularly the police, the military, and all paramilitary agencies who are members of ICES, Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. And like I said, we don't have the strength, we don't have the large number of policemen to cover everywhere because of the large number of polling units and other activities we are to engage in. And that's why we have ICES, and every member of ICES must be very, very active when it comes to election security management. And that's why you see the military are very, very active, the police active, DSS, even the AFCC and ICPC, who are anti-graft agencies, who have just been incorporated into the committee, are always very, very active. We deployed 425,106 personnel, police and all other agencies all together. And that's why we have enough men to be in all these polling units, 170-something police units across the country. Aside from policing electoral process, don't forget, we will not leave our statutory duties undone. And that's why you must make sure we have another secured environment to even have electoral process in the first instance. So all our operations are still on, military operations, police operations, and other tactical operations that are being floated by other agencies are still on pari passu with election security management. So we kudos to all our men on the field. They are more professional this time around. Kudos to electorates who have come out to exercise their franchise. And we appreciate those who are not active electorates. They are old enough, eligible to vote, no PVC, they stay at home. We appreciate them too for being obedient, so that they have not come out to disrupt our elections. They have not come out to sit on the fence, because they are the most dangerous set of people who do not have PVC. But they believe they are old enough, they are more than 18 to come and cast their vote. So appreciation to everybody, particularly media. We have been so fantastic. We still have some issues of fake news, disinformation, and that's why we issued a statement this morning that we want people not to be circulating fake reports. Let us be patient enough. Wait for INEC, who has just commenced collation of results. I think they're going to start by 12 this afternoon. Let us wait for them to have results. Results have been flying here and there. This might create problems and hit off the polity that might trigger post-election violence in the country. We want to hold people to please desist from this and do not copy and paste. Verify news, verify stories before you share them. And so far so good. The journey has been so fantastic. And for those that will go to their posts today based on our NEC arrangements, we want them to be law-abiding. Support all our security operatives, they are there for you. And that is the message from us.
Ayo and Millicent were just nodding as you were saying all that. You know, the distribution of kudos was quite generous from you.
I remember you said kudos to the security people yesterday. So yes, Mr. Adejobi, kudos to you as well. But you know, we said something about the result of good work.
Yes, good work.
More work.
Yes.
So we can only ask for more. I mean, just as you told Mr.
We surely do that. We surely do that.
We're coming somewhere.
The IG is in the office.
Yeah, we're coming somewhere.
All of us are in the office. We do more.
Well, it's not the IG keeping you there. Trust me. I'm the one keeping you there. Laddie is there. Millicent, every one of us is there keeping you there to do the job. You know, but you know, one of the concerns people had previously was some of the things that you have mentioned, that people did what they needed to do in order to ensure that things went the way they ought to go. I'm going to ask a question that you probably are not ready for, but it was an issue someone raised yesterday. How do your men and yourself get to vote?
That is serious. There's no law that bars police from voting. The only thing is that I have my PVC. I'm from Osun State. I'm from Aida local government. I belong to Ward 10 in Aida in Osun State. I have my PVC, but will I have the time to go to my village to go and vote? It's not possible. It's because of the nature of the job. I think what we can do is to have special arrangement for security operatives. Either they have their votes a day before or after or whatever, so that we will not be disenfranchised as well. We are human beings, we are Nigerians, and we have our own rights. But generally, it's not going to be easy for us to say we want to leave our duty post and go and vote. Many of us have PVCs. We have PVCs, but the time is not there.
That is it. So, I mean, if you take it from there, the IGP himself didn't vote because he's in the office right now. He couldn't have voted. And many of the DIGs who are on active duty as well yesterday and so on. So, I guess the context under which it was raised yesterday is that, you know, the people who are guarding the electoral process themselves need to be able to participate in it. That's what democracy is about. And that was where the question came about those who, you know, the security agencies participating in the voting process, so that they themselves, sometimes in that participation, they can get to see where some of the loopholes are, you know, and then, of course, work as agencies towards resolving them. And I'm happy you mentioned what our guest here mentioned yesterday, which is that arrangements going forward need to be made, you know, for security forces to vote possibly earlier than the rest of the population, so that they will still be able to participate, but at the same time, they will still be able to do their duties at the time when others are to do it. But I know that Millicent...
Yes, Mr. Adejobi, thank you. I just wanted to ask, and this is with regards to your, view of things yesterday. We heard about disruptions in Lagos, but is it just Lagos? From your end, the National Command, where were those pockets of disruptions around the country?
Yes, we recorded some. You know, they can't have 100% perfection in everything you do. In science, we expect that the planet Earth is going to be circular. But don't forget, it's not circular, it's spherical. So which means there's no perfection in whatever we do. So we only tried as human beings and as an institution to make sure we are close to perfection in everything we do. That's not how we want to have election where we're having more than 80-something million electorates to come out in 176 and above polling units in a pluralistic nation like Nigeria in all forms. It might not be so easy like that. We only recorded political thuggery in so many areas, which of course we know is part of, to an extent, is part of our political system in Nigeria. And this is not, you won't blame any security agencies for this, you won't blame INEC for this, we blame other stakeholders who have recruited these guys to come out and disrupt election. Fine, we arrested many of them, like you heard in Lagos. We recorded incidences like this. We have suspects. Even in FCT, in some areas, in FCT, in Lugbe, in Gariki, in some areas, we arrested. Even in Kano, Kaduna, all those things. Well, we have many arrests across the country. I may not be able to give you any empirical figure of the suspects we have arrested so far. But one good thing is every assistant commissioner of police in charge of CID of each state, each command, is the electoral offenses desk officer. is to collate all these incidences and do proper investigation, then transfer to INEC for prosecution. So Nigerians should not blame us. The police have not been prosecuting. We have arrested this. We have not done this. We don't have power to prosecute now, according to the provisions of 2022 Electoral Act as amended. But we do case files. We package the case files, hand over to INEC for prosecution. It may likely go to court as prosecution witnesses, and that's the position of the law now. So people should not be heaping blames on the police. But generally, all these incidences, we cannot rule out the fact that we may have many of them. In fact, it will have been worse if we have not done our deployment based on our threat analysis. So the threat analysis actually assisted us, and that's why we did record more than what we recorded yesterday. But generally, we cannot have a perfection in things like this, particularly electoral process in Nigeria, in a nation like this. No.
So we're to have an idea of the exact states, that participated in the general elections, the polling units. Give us an idea of the number of states that you have where there was violence or disruptions.
Well, we are comparing notes with INEC. The IGP was in the INEC situation room yesterday. We have our own situation room at the headquarters, and don't forget we have joint operation room where we have representative of all security agencies, including the military, the anti-graft agencies. We are all there. We monitor. We may not be able to have a constant figure, because yesterday there might be some cases that were not immediately reported, that were not incidented. So we are still collating. By the time we collate, we're going to have, either we have joint press briefing, INEC and the police, or the INEC we have, as we have been now at the ICC, or the police will come later to tell us the exact number of suspects we have for yesterday exercise on the 5th of February. So I may not be able to give any exact figure or to mention state by state, but there's no state that will not have its own small, whatever how minute it is, incidences recorded. But all of them, in any way, did not largely disrupt the electoral process. That's one good thing about it.
Now, at that point, thank you very much, Mr. Adejobi.